Hey there, television viewers. My name is Matt Carter, and you're tuned to episode number 64 of the show on Shaw. Not to be confused with the N64. Love that Mario Kart stuff. Anyways, our musical guest behind me is Mr. David Batanti. Not to be confused with Tony Tanti, who scored a whole bunch of goals for the Canucks. Big goals, but hey, Batanti's got big songs. You'll be hearing more of them, as well as an interview with Saskatchewan Roughriders #1 cheerleader, Mr. Andrew Roberts. All right, also on today's show, with the Christmas holidays coming up, of course, our minds turn to toys. And apparently, since I act like a child more than any other host on this show, they've tasked me with speaking with Nanaimo Museum curator David Hill-Turner about a Toys of the Past exhibit that's happening at the Nanaimo Museum. As well, make sure to stay tuned for more information on the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. It's a very cool program that aims to get toys under the tree for those less fortunate here in Nanaimo, and we need you to step up and donate some toys. We'll find out how more this hour. We're also going to talk about autism, and in particular, autism support. Joni has two experts in the studio to talk to us about it. That's psychologist Dr. Suzanne Jacobson and Karen Hovstad from Autism BC. Now, we were going to do a segment on the Shaw TV hockey team, but our goalie Todd doesn't fit his pads anymore. Our defenseman Derek, his new car, can't make it to any of the games. And also our coach Stanislav, well, he just defected to the Ukraine. So instead, we're going to take a look at the Nanaimo Minor Hockey Association. Instead, Anna is going to find out about a very cool ice hockey tournament coming up with tournament coordinator Allison Brzeski. This is a great tournament for kids age 5 to 9. Again, find out more later on this hour. Now, proving that bark and bite are actually of equal importance, Joni's going to find out about healthy snacks for your dog, or anyone else's dog for that matter. We have Dawn and Christine here from Callywag to talk about their healthy dog snacks. I don't know if they were made in a white kitchen or a golden lab. All right, now, I got a lot of groans. All right, sticking with nutrition, but for us Homo sapiens, I'm going to take a look into the world of iron. What's the deal with iron deficiencies or iron supplements? Do we need them? Can iron supplements really crease out your clothes, as I previously thought? Well, we're going to find out from pharmacist Kevin Cox and naturopathic physician Tara McCart. But first, we're going to kick things off with Anna and a bit of a Christmas giving segment, and we have to do this because there's a clause in my contract. Keep on jingling, baby. You're watching the show right here on Shaw TV.
We're coming upon a wonderful time of year. It's one of my favorite times of year, Christmas, and it's also a time of giving. And today my guest is today my guest is Dawn Anderson of the Salvation Army Kettle. It's the Kettle campaign, and Dawn is here today to talk to us a little bit about the Kettle campaign, and not only that, but also about the Santa Shuffle. Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you very much for letting me be here.
No problem. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the Kettle campaign?
Kettle campaign for Nanaimo started on Monday, the 25th, and it's the largest fundraiser that the Salvation Army has in Nanaimo for the whole year. For money that we raise stays in Nanaimo to help support our emergency services, our meal programs, our emergency shelter, all sorts of awesome things.
And of course, you have a kettle behind you there,
yes.
And you see them all different places. They're at the malls, all kinds of locations. Now, you're also looking for volunteers for this, is that correct?
Oh, definitely. We have many, many openings. We have 104 shifts a day that we tried to fill.
That's a lot of volunteers.
That's a lot of volunteers. Last year we had over 900 volunteers, and we still had openings. So we're hoping for 1,000 this year.
Wow, that's a lot. Now, with the Kettle campaign, there's also the Christmas hampers. Is that correct? Can
Yes.
you explain a little bit about the Christmas hampers too, please?
Hampers we combine with Loaves and Fishes and the Salvation Army, and we call it Hamperville. And this year, it's
a great
good.
name for it.
It is a good name. Last year we gave out over 2,200 hampers, and this year already we have over 1,000 families registered. And last year in our numbers, we had over 5,000 people registered in that, and 1,800 of them were children.
That's great.
So the need is great.
The need is great. You're right about that, because we do know about that. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the Santa Shuffle?
Santa Shuffle is something that is done through the running room, and it's on Saturday, December 7th, and it's a 1K elf walk or a 5K fun run. So businesses and individuals can come on board, and they get pledges and have a great time.
That sounds like fun. I might have to drag my little elf out for that one.
It's great. It's lots of fun.
And December 7th, you said, right?
Yes.
Now, can we find information out on the, you mentioned the Running Room website, is that correct?
Correct.
For information on the Santa Shuffle?
Yes, and they can register online as well.
Online. Now, can you tell us a little bit, there's so many events coming up that you're involved with. Another one is the Nanaimo Concert Band, which is on December 8th. Can you explain a little bit about that one too?
Yes, it's a Sunday afternoon. The concert starts at 2:30 at Bevan Park, but you need to be there probably by 1:30 at the latest. It's a packed house, and it's by donation, bring a food item, or we'll have a kettle there.
Now, Nanaimo Concert Band?
Nanaimo Concert Band. They've been doing it for years.
Have they?
Phenomenal. It's the best. If you love brass music, you can't miss it.
Okay, another one to do. And there's also the Give and Go.
Yes.
And that's on?
December the 11th. It's a Wednesday. So for those who are busy and they can't get out of their vehicles or don't want to, from 5 till 7, you drive through the Nanaimo Daily News parking lot, and we take cash, cans, and clothing. And there's all sorts of activities you can get.
Even clothing?
Even clothing. You can get out of your vehicle and grab a hamburger, hot chocolate. It's a great event, and it's only for 2 hours.
Excellent. And of course, you need volunteers. So if people want to volunteer, the information, they can go to not info, but the website is salvationarmynanaimo.com. Is that correct?
Right.
Or they can reach you through your phone number.
Yes, 740-1004. And if it's busy, keep on trying, because we need your support and we would appreciate your support.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dawn. I really appreciate your coming on and talking to us about this. And now we're going to throw to Matt. Is he playing with toys? I'm not quite sure. Is he?
Oh,
He
yes,
is.
that's correct there, Anna. Oh, my goodness, with the Christmas spirit, yay! Of course, we have to talk about toys. Oof. Anyways, yes, and we're again talking about toys. I gotta stop having so much fun there. Quick note for today's children who might be watching the show. We didn't always have iPads for gifts. Back in my day, they were called Etch-a-Sketches. I'm telling you, they were just as fun, if not more. And to find out more about toys from back in the day, there's actually a great exhibit happening at the Nanaimo Museum called Toys of the Past. And to tell us more about it, we've got David Hill-Turner from the museum. David, welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt.
Again, stoked to have you here. And again, a lot of the staff here are really, really stoked on the whole idea of having this fun stuff. So tell us a little about the inspiration behind the toys exhibit.
Well, Christmas is a great time for toys. So we thought we'd go out and go through our collection, see what we had there. But also we threw it out to the community and sort of said, what's out there? What do people have in their attics, their basements, their special place in the house where they've kept that toy for the last 80 years or so? And we had a tremendous response from the community. And we have over 23 people who loaned toys to the museum for this exhibition.
Oh, nice.
So we got dolls, we got action figures.
I noticed, yes, the Todd Jones mask here we have here.
Mm-hmm,
So
yeah.
very, very nice, the Todd Jones mask. Yeah, that's Lord Vader, yep.
There we go. And of course, toys of different kind. We have toys for playing with, we have toys for developing different skills. And of course, this one is a toy oven.
Exactly. Now, we brought it in here, and there's some folks here on the staff who are like, is this actually a toy? So, yeah, what is the backstory behind this oven?
Well, this is really quite an elaborate one. This is probably from the late 1920s, made in Germany. It is a working gas stove. So can you imagine that, taking your kids today and say, okay, Julie, Johnny, here's a little gas stove, go out and cook. And it connected onto the gas mains in the house. Under each one of these pots, there's a burner. And of course, if you open the oven, you can bake in it as well. There are 5 burners.
Nice.
All the pots are to scale. And of course, if you need hot water, there's a little hot water heater on the back, and you open the valve, it works.
Nice. No space for Pop-Tarts, but actually learning how to do proper cooking.
Actually, it's learning to do proper cooking. Isn't that nice? You go out of the pan into the fire.
Very cool. All right, what else have you brought for us to show off
Well,
here?
of course, the other thing that came with toys, particularly, of your generation and mine too, was television and movies. And
Absolutely.
we couldn't forget, the 1970s, the big toy, big movie, Star Wars.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Star Wars became, it changed a lot of way with toys. Before it was more a lot of television. You had Buck Rogers and the Rawhide and what's his name, cowboy things.
Oh yeah.
So, but this one, Star Wars really changed the whole thing around in 1977 when it came out. and changed toys, and every boy and lots of girls wanted toys reflected in the movie. But you know, just like toys today, you know, toys in the past, you have the characters, but you know, you can make up your own scenes with it. You know, you have different movies like this one, Battlestar Galactica. You can sort of zoom around.
Nice, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna fly in on you over there.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, so the whole science fiction thing, I guess, was a huge contributor to, I guess, the toys across all styles.
And you know what? Kids of every age still play with the toys. You know, you give them something, and their imagination starts to run with it.
Absolutely.
No
So
names mentioned.
I was gonna say, show me the last thing you brought here. This classic exercise device.
This one you use at your own risk, a pogo stick, and it was a great one. First invented in 1909, made out of wood, but then later made into steel. And you can still buy them today. They're great, and of course, maybe we'll start a new fitness craze with your pogo stick.
Absolutely, yes. So it's not just about iPads, stuff for exercise as well. David, thank you so much for coming here again to tell folks how they can come and see the exhibit at the museum.
Museums open, actually we go to 7 days a week in beginning of December, and the exhibit's on until January the 4th, Saturday, January the 4th. Saturday on December 14th, we do have a family day at the museum from 1 to 4.
Perfect, awesome. Thank you so much for coming
You're
here
welcome.
and bringing us down. Really appreciate it. All right, so again, check out the museum, and also now we do have to turn our attention from toys of the past from here to toys of the present. And in particular, we need you at home to help provide toys for today's children in Nanaimo as part of the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. Now, the Holiday Toy Drive has actually been going on for 31 years now. It started by one mother named Dorothy, and now it's grown into a charitable organization with hundreds of volunteers. And I'll give you some numbers here. Last year, the Toy Drive actually helped out 1,500 children, all the way from newborns up to 16 years old, and that's representing 750 families. So again, these are toys donated by citizens of Nanaimo, distributed by citizens of Nanaimo to citizens of Nanaimo. So an amazing organization here for the community. So as mentioned, how can you help? Well, you can drop off some unwrapped toys at one of their many drop-off sites. Some of the malls, Woodgrove Center, Nanaimo Northtown Center, and Country Club Center. All three of the city fire halls, all coastal community credit unions, the Port Theatre, as well as the budget storage in the North End. Any toys dropped off before December 16th will go to families this year, but if you do happen to miss that deadline, it's okay. All toys will get collected to give out next year as well. I've also given the word that the demographic on the toy drive, they're usually short on gifts for teens, so don't forget about teens when you are picking up some gifts, toys, or books. If you happen to be a parent who wants to sign up your children for this service, registration will be taking place at most food banks throughout the city, as well at the old Medill site, and that's near Laird Wheaton Pontiac, 2560 Bowen Road. And that's actually open from November 25th all the way to December 6th, with a bonus day on December 11th, every day from 10 a.m. until 4 in the afternoon. And you do have to bring ID for each child. And then the toys and the joys will be given out to parents and kids on December 18th and 19th. That's at the old Harewood School Gym at the corner of 5th Street and Howard. So again, a great organization, great service. For more information, check out their website, www.thegreatnanaimotoydrive.ca. All right, well, I gotta say, it also feels like Christmas every time Joni happens to be here in the studio. So now we're gonna send it over to her for a segment. So Joni, over to you to tell us about autism.
Well, thanks, Matt. And Matt and toys go together very well. And so we're also going to be talking about little boys. I don't know why I think about that when I think about Matt. But we have with us, we have Dr. Suzanne Jacobson. And she's written a story about a little boy. And it's called From Thomas to Train Conductor. And I'd like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And I also have with me Karen Hovestad. And tell me which group you're with.
With the Autism Society of Central Vancouver Island.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about autism, and we have a little bit of a different, we have a curve that we're being thrown because you are a clinical psychologist, you're an educator, you started off as an educator, but you're also an author now, and this is a new era in your life, really, isn't it? Because you're revealing a little bit about yourself through this story. This is the story of your own son.
Yes.
Who's now 27.
Yes.
And you've waited quite a while to tell this story. So tell me about it.
Yes, this is a story of our son, Kieran. And Kieran was diagnosed at the age of 2 with pervasive developmental disorder, which today would be an autism spectrum disorder. Mm-hmm. But he also had very complex needs. He was unintelligible speech, and he had problems with his vision, and so he had many challenging experiences with the medical world. years of speech therapy, physiotherapy, many, many things. And this is his story and our experience as parents confronting everything, every barrier that is possible to be put in the lives of parents. And from Thomas to Trained Conductor is because he is one of the little boys that fell madly in love with Thomas and would carry Thomas Train in his hands and keep his Thomas and their buddies with him. And having graduated from university with a degree in history, he came to us and said, would we mind if he became a train engineer? And we said, it's your life. So having spent a year, 4 months in training, and then he became a train conductor on his way, wanting to become a train engineer. Wow. So that's why the From Thomas to Train Conductor, because it had been, Thomas had been his passion, and there we were with him wanting to become a train engineer.
That's an amazing story. I think it's so amazing on so many different levels, and we've talked about some of the levels which we could go into, but talking about the book itself, just the fact that you have been diagnosing children that have multiple different disorders, but autism being one of those on the spectrum. And here you are telling your own story as well. So you're known best, I guess, for your work as a clinical psychologist. And yet this is so personal that people didn't even know this was your story.
We did keep it very personal. At the same time, I say in the book, be careful what you ask for, because God may answer your prayers, but when he answers them in his own way. Mm-hmm. And we had wanted a son for a very long time. And so when we got a very special son, and then when we needed to confront his complex needs, even though we were both professionals in the field, even though we had many contacts and a great deal of knowledge, it didn't make it any easier. And we ran into the same barriers that the parents tell me every day that they are running into, and that children tell me they're running into. So,
and through all of the different systems that they go through. And Karen, you know all about that because you're working pretty hands-on, I suppose, with some of those very, at least the organizations, the schools.
Not so much anymore. I actually moved to Vancouver Island 20 years ago to open a branch office for the Autism Society, and you know, worked very closely with families for a long time. But now I'm on the board of directors, so I'm not quite as hands-on as I used to be, and things have changed a little bit. Part of that, what Dr. Jacobson and I were talking about earlier, is that the number of people who are diagnosed, and what a challenge it is for everyone with the school system not providing funding for children based on their needs and disabilities as opposed to their label.
So now, if people want more information, it'll be on the screen, and they can actually get in touch with you.
On the website, yeah.
They can find out more about Dr. Jacobson's work as well. And you can find the book at your local bookstore. And if you can't find it, ask for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm so thankful that you were able to spend time with us today, and hope that people will follow up. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to hear another story in song from David. And I'm going to let him say his last name.
Sometimes it's the dropping of the rain. Sometimes it's an ocean away. Sometimes it's the language of the same. Sometimes it's the balance of the same. Sometimes it is all about the game, playing with the rules I thought you made. Every time I thought I heard you say, I tried to find a ghost within your name. to find the ghost within your name. I see you lying here, breaking yourself. You tell me that you're dying here. How am I to help? I see you lying here, breaking yourself. You tell me that you're dying, dear. How am I to help? I see you lying here, breaking yourself. Tell me that you're dying here. How am I to help? See you lying here, breaking yourself. Tell me that you're dying, dear. How am I to help? Sometimes it is all about the game. Playing with the rules I thought you made. And every time I know I heard you say, I tried to find the ghost within your name. I tried to find the ghost within your name. I tried to find the ghost within your name. I tried to find the ghost within your name.
Thank you, David. That was great. Another thing that not only is it Christmas time, but the other season, it's hockey season. It's, yay, there's lots of cheers around here. And it's my pleasure to introduce Allison Przeski, and she's the tournament coordinator for the Nanaimo Ice Hockey Tournament coming up in December. And you are going to tell us all about that. I'm looking forward to it myself as well.
I bet you are. Wink, wink.
That's right.
Yes, we are putting on one of many tournaments that happens in Nanaimo. And this is the Nanaimo Ice Tournament, and it's taking place December 27th, 28th, and 29th at both the Nanaimo Ice Center as well as Cliff McNabb Arena.
Both arenas.
Yes.
Now, I know, Christmas time is very busy, but there's a lull between Christmas and New Year's, and there's lots of time to come out to the arena and check out these young ones. They're amazing. Now, what are the age groups of the kids that are playing?
They are the young ones. This is a tournament for initiation and novice. So initiation is in the 5 to 6 and maybe into 7 age range, and then novice is 8 to 9. So this is for the initiation teams. Quite often a first chance for them to skate on full ice and play a game on full ice, which the looks on their faces are incredible, and the smiles that they have, you can't get any better.
I know my son's pretty excited because he's going to be partaking in this year. And it's not only the Nanaimo teams, but it's teams from out of town as well. Is that correct? So the tournament encompasses not only our community, but
across the island, really. We have teams from Campbell River and all the way south to Victoria and to the West Coast. So we have a 28-team tournament. So it's going to bring a lot of people into Nanaimo. And,
it will. So
yeah.
if people have nothing to do, come and check it out. Now, so you did mention where it's going to be. So who's involved in hosting this tournament?
It's really, parents are putting it on. We all have kids who are playing in these divisions, and so it's really, there's a core group of us, but we couldn't do it without the support of all of the parents involved. So we have, over the 3 days, we ask that all parents in initiation and novice help out and volunteer. So it's a lot of work, but well worth it, like we said, when we see the smiles on the kids' faces.
Now, it's not only the hockey tournament that's happening, but what else is involved with the hockey tournament? Do we have some raffle baskets? Is that correct?
We have some great prizes. We use it as a fundraiser as well, and we give some money back to the team so they can go in other tournaments or do team parties, but a good portion of our proceeds gets donated back to Nanaimo Minor Hockey.
Which is a good cause.
Which is a great cause. So last year we donated over $1,400 to equipment, and that supported the initiation and novice divisions. So
that's amazing. I wasn't aware of that. That's great.
Yeah. So
and there's also not only the raffle baskets, but
50-50s, and we do some draw prizes. We have some great themes for raffle baskets, everything from a mom's basket, a dad's basket. We have a mini iPad this year.
Ooh,
we have
some
some
big prizes.
Yes, we have some signed Canucks clothing and hats, as well as some BC Lions tickets. So we've got lots of great stuff.
That sounds really great. Now, I know we touched briefly upon the fact that, you know, the trend is showing that registration is down in hockey a little bit, but what can we do to promote our Nanaimo teams and the kids? Just come out and
come out and watch the kids play. I mean, at this age, it's all about development. You know, yes, there's some friendly competition because kids are kids, but it's really great to see the kids play against other players from other communities. They get to meet people. Quite often, these are the same kids that they're going to be seeing at tournaments down the future. So it's a great sport. Really encourage people to come out and have a look.
Now, if they did want some more information, can they look on the Nanaimo Hockey website?
Absolutely.
And it's, I can't remember it off the top
It'll
of my
be
head.
on the screen. Let's go with that just to make sure we have it.
HockeyNanaimo.com.
Yes.
is what it is.
And our tournament is on there as well as all of the others. So there's tournaments happening as early as this weekend all through the season. So if you can't make it out to ours in late December, definitely stop in and check out another one.
Thank you so much, Allison. I really appreciate your coming on and telling us all about the tournament. And now I think we're going back to Matt. We're
absolutely
Matt
true.
anyway.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you so much, Allison. I'm going to ignore my mustache, get back to the show here. Anyways, Allison's done tons of great stuff in the community, so great to see her work on the sports side as well. And before I go any further, I do want to point out that when I mentioned Todd Jones not fitting his pads earlier on the show, that's because he's actually lost 25 pounds, not because he's gained it. So, Todd, please actually start eating your pads and get back up to that good old playing weight. Come on now. All right, you're tuned into the show here on Shaw TV, and so far, we've learned about Christmas campaigns here in Nanaimo from the Salvation Army and as well as the Great Nanaimo Toy Drive. We've also looked at Toys of the Past exhibit at the Nanaimo Museum. That's happening right now. We've also learned more about autism and autism support, and of course, just right now, some happenings with the Nanaimo Minor Hockey Association. Coming up on the show, we actually have a conversation with our musical guest, David Batanti, as well as hear some more songs from him. On the nutrition side of things, I've got some folks here to talk about iron and iron supplements with me. But first, we're going to take a look at nutrition from the point of view of man's best friend. And normally that would be talking about calories and beer, if you're in my world. But no, and this time we're actually going to talk about healthy snacks for dogs. So to find out more, we're going to throw it back over to Joni. So Joni, right over to you.
Thanks, Matt. And again, we are here at the demo counter, and we're going to be talking about dog treats. And I'm here with Don Farrow, who is the person behind Callywags. And it's a really interesting story how you got involved with this in the first place. And it really was your love of dogs and your commitment to your own dog that got you involved. Tell me your story about how you got involved.
I got a puppy about 10 years ago, and I couldn't find anything that I really wanted to feed her, so as a snack, and I thought I really like to bake, and I thought, well, I'm going to come up with the best treat I can, and that's what I did.
And you came up with Callywags. And so you were telling me a little bit about the background. I mean, you went to a lot of trouble to figure this out. You didn't just, come up with the recipe. You did your research.
I researched for a year. I read everything I got on the internet. I just spent a whole year reading everything I could about it. And then I actually went to Guelph Food and Technology Center, and I had the food nutritionist go through the recipe with me just to make sure it was as healthy for dogs as I felt it was, but I didn't know unless they analyzed it. So.
Well, it's a huge commitment, and you have a tie-in with Ontario in general. You went and stayed with your dad.
Yeah, he had a motel at the time, and he had a commercial kitchen there, or a motel kitchen. So I was making them just for my dog and a few of my friends. And he said, well, why don't you come out, and we've got a 20-quart mixer and big stoves, and we can make big batches. And so I spent 6 months out there trying to doing that, and then I came back and found a few stores and a few more, and we have about 50 stores that sell Callywags across Canada now.
And you were saying that that was not actually your favorite part of doing this. Your favorite part is the baking, the research, that sort of thing.
Right.
And you actually had to go in and sell these now to the stores because you had such enthusiasm from your friends. You decided that it was a great product.
I do remember my first store that I was going to take them into, and I actually sat in the car for half an hour, and I was in a panic, and I just had to talk myself into it. And when I went in, my hands were shaking, but I got the order, and it just got a little easier each time. And yeah, now it's easy.
So I was asking, do you take a dog in with you? Do you show them how great it is? How do they know that they're going to want this product when you go into a store?
It's different looking than the other products. It's thicker. A lot of people, when we do, we have it out on display, sometimes people pick it up and try to eat it as if it was a granola bar.
You know, I've got this little package here. It looks very tempting.
They read the ingredients and they often think it is a human granola bar.
So it's got all the natural ingredients, and you said it went through a rigorous testing at the University of Guelph, or was it the veterinary?
It was a food nutritionist at Guelph Food and Nutritional Sciences.
What they do in Guelph. Yeah. We don't know what they do in Guelph, but they figure it all out. So I know that there's a veterinary, is it a school there?
Yes.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. So you had the tie in there as well. So I see it says even fussy dogs love these, and you were saying that the dogs themselves are your best, I guess, advertising.
Yeah, I had Callie she would eat the bag even if there wasn't a cookie in it, but there were, I got lots of emails back, and we met people at different shows, and they'd say, you know, my dog doesn't like any treats, and they like this one. And my vet was saying that he did an unofficial testing, and dogs that didn't like treats like Callywags more than any treat that he had come across.
So and Callie is the name of your dog?
Yeah, Callie's dead now, but I have another one.
But this was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that was, just in case people were wondering where Callywags comes from.
Yeah.
It's actually named after your dog, which is a great legacy, even if she's she's no longer with us. You've got something, that is really a great memory for her. And so I think this is amazing. We're going to be talking to Kristen, who is your partner. We haven't really defined how that works, except that you both have skills and you've put them together.
And they do seem to mesh. The things that I'm not as strong at, she is. And I met her 3 years ago, and it was just this perfect timing. And I wouldn't be still doing it. I think I needed some help at that time, and she's just fell right in and picked it up. So she's strong, and we're going to be talking about people getting strong using iron supplements. We're going to be talking to, Matt's going to be talking to his guests about iron supplements now, and then we'll be back.
Well, it's actually me, not this guy. But thank you, Joni, and thank you, Don, for giving me a great Christmas present idea for Matt Carter, actually, because usually he gets the kibbles and bits, so this will be a great treat for him. So. Anyway, I'm here with Ladysmith performer David Batanti. Thanks for being here, David.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So you're involved with several projects these days.
Yeah.
You've got a solo project?
Yep.
That's all you?
Yeah. So I'm doing the solo acoustic thing, playing around here, cafes, little pubs, that kind of thing. I'm also I fired up my old band I was in for about 10 years called Smart Bomb, and we played around Nanaimo quite a bit. So we'll be playing at the Canby on December 13th, and in Ladysmith, where I'm from, at the Sportsman Pub on the 20th. As well, I'm playing bass in a band called the Dead Birds, which is a really cool band from Ladysmith. And I also started a project, funny enough, with my ex-wife. We're called Status Reject, and she's the principal songwriter in that project, and really cool tunes, so yeah.
Excellent.
Lots going on.
Well, can you describe the difference in sound? Like, what is Smart Bomb like?
Smart Bomb is kind of like if grunge kept going, that's kind of where we would slot in. The Dead Birds is kind of like folk rock. So our lead singer, Steph Humphreys, she's the main songwriter. She writes really cool tunes, kind of old school country, but a bit of a rock flair. And yeah, our Status Reject stuff, it's kind of, I don't know, kind of Land of Talk, kind of alt rock, I would say.
Right on,
so
right
kind
on.
of spanning some different genres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously you've heard about the Duncan Garage showroom closing. Pretty
Yeah.
sad day, and you know, that was a great live venue. What are some of your favorite venues that you played?
That was definitely one of them. I played there several times, and I was very bummed out to hear about that. I have a show coming up next month at the Dingy Dock on December 18th. That's also one of my favorite venues. It kind of feels like you're going on vacation when you go there. I mean, it's only like a 5-minute ferry ride, but I don't know. I love playing there. Everyone that goes is having a good time. They're happy to be there. And again, the Canby Nanaimo, we played so many shows there with Smart Bomb. So many good, loud, rockin' shows. So definitely one of my favorite venues too.
Awesome. Who's playing on the Dingy Dock show with you?
Yes, that is Ladysmith on the Dock. So there's 2 other amazing Ladysmith bands, Kendall Patrick and the Headless Betties, and Skellig, or Skellig, I don't know. I don't know how you say it. Tomato, tomato, right? But yeah, both great bands. I've gotten to know them over the last year or two. And I mean, we could probably do 3 months worth of Dingy Dock shows with Ladysmith acts if we could, right? There's just so many people coming out of there that can write good tunes and, you know, great musicians. It's crazy.
So many great ones. Ryan McMahon, got to throw that name out there.
Yeah.
What other people in Ladysmith do you work with?
Well, Ryan is actually a really good friend of mine. We were just hanging out last night and showing each other tunes. Mike Toole, another great musician. He just recorded the song I played earlier last week. So there's, you know, Cameron Latimer, another great friend of mine. He's I think he's over in Vancouver now, and he's an amazing songwriter. He's kind of bringing back the alt country.
Crazy.
But yeah, he's an amazing musician.
Well, it's great to see such a small community have such a boom in the music scene for Ladysmith, so that's great. I hope to hear more great Ladysmith artists, and that Dingy Dock show should be great.
Definitely.
And now you have a day job, you have a family,
yes,
and you have a music career, aspiring music career. How do you balance it all?
Energy drinks. No, I don't know. You just make time. I fortunately, raising my son with my ex, we're on the same page, and we're able to make time for our things. And so yeah, I got a great support group of family and friends. It makes it easier. Yeah, it's a lot to do, but it's when you love something, you make time for it. So
You do.
yeah.
I remember back in the day with the Smart Bomb, we had you play at the Duncan, what was it, the South Side.
Yes, yes.
And there might have been 20 people at those shows, but I remember the one thing that I remember from those shows is the seats were like the comfiest seats that I've ever sat in.
They were.
It was great.
That was a cool venue. I mean, there was times we played there and there was 3 people. There was the band and the people working.
That's right.
But we just treated it like a show, and you just pretend like there's 3,000 people there, and you still have fun. I mean, if you love music, it doesn't matter who's there, right?
Exactly, right. That's great. Now you've played a song for us, and you're online. Where can people find you?
I'm on, my own personal stuff is on Facebook. I have no idea what the address would be because there's a lot of characters in there, but maybe they'll put it on the bottom of the screen, or just go to Facebook and type in my name.
Search David Batanti, Facebook, and on SoundCloud as well. You can hear some of your music.
Yeah, definitely. Go to SoundCloud if you want to hear tunes.
Perfect. What's the next song you got?
This one's called Wait Till Dark. And yeah, I wrote this for a friend of mine who was going through a rough time, and he kind of found his way. And I wrote this song just before he got help. And he's almost 2 years clean and sober, so
wow,
pretty cool.
Excellent. Well, take it away.
Okay, thank you.
Wait till dark to raise the dead. You see it all inside your head. Growing up ain't enough. Wait till There's no reason to run and hide. There's always reason to stay well. Wait till dark to save yourself. Play it back inside your head. Giving up ain't enough. Wait till dark. There's no reason to run and hide. There's always reason to stay well. Wait till dark. Wait till dark. Wait till dark. Wait till dark. There's no reason to run and hide. There's always reason to stay well. There's no reason to run and hide. There's always reason to stay well. What do you? What do you? What do you? What do you?
All right, great stuff. That's singer-songwriter David Batanti with the song Wait Till Dark. Again, great stuff. He'll be back on later in the show with one more song to finish things off here, so make sure to stick around for that. As for right now, obviously you can tell by the mustache, I'm feeling a little bit sickly, so it's time for a bit of a nutritional segment, and we're going to tackle the element known as iron. And to do that, two experts, we have pharmacist Kevin Cox and naturopathic physician Dr. Tara McCart here on the show. Welcome both of you to the program.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
Great to have you here. So first off, for folks not in the know like myself, let us know, what is iron and what does it do for us?
Well, iron is a very important mineral. It belongs in the body, and it's part of what makes up heme on our red blood cells. So as your red blood cells are floating around in your circulation, they're delivering oxygen to your body. If you are deficient in iron, this of course leaves you in a compromised position where you can't deliver oxygen, your cells go into distress. Some of the symptoms people might complain about when they are low in iron might be just fatigue, concentration difficulties, easy bruising. Those are probably just three symptoms I would say right off the top I'd be wanting to investigate if this person has iron deficient anemia. So they may go in and start doing some lab work to find out, just to make sure that they're not taking iron supplements without requiring them. We can investigate it more thoroughly. CBC, ferritin, that sort of thing. Then you can evaluate how severe is this anemia if it's present at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, actually you mentioned obviously fatigue, and I mean, I have some friends who don't have a cup of coffee, they feel fatigued. So you talked about getting testing done for iron. So that's sort of any sort of doctor's office, or where can folks go?
Your GP, your naturopathic physician, we can do basic CBC, ferritin. It's just testing your levels of iron storage and checking out whether your red blood cells are sufficient. Absolutely. Now, in some of the research I looked at, it talked about how iron deficiency could actually be an issue with up to 30% of the global population. So why is this so widespread, the idea of iron deficiency? Well, I think that iron deficiency is often a sign of something else too. So just having low iron in your blood work, you know, first thing you might want to look at, of course, is diet. As I said, dietary insufficiency.
But very often it can be a sign of a more serious underlying condition. So it does often require further investigation. If you're losing blood through the stool, maybe a person has colitis, or even women having heavy menstrual periods, they can actually lose so much iron that they become anemic recurrently.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it can sort of look at a wide range of ideas that could lead to that fatigue. So
yeah,
and certain medications or medical conditions can also cause issues with low iron as well too. People who are on immunosuppressant agents like methotrexate for rheumatoid arthritis, people who take stomach acid reducing agents, so what they call PPIs or proton pump inhibitors.
Interesting. Yeah. So with that too, I know Tara, you talked about the idea of course getting iron from food and.
First place to start.
Exactly, yeah. So we looked at, again, more research. There's different sort of iron that comes from different food sources. So you just talk a little bit about that.
That's right. There's some discussion about heme-based sources of iron and non-heme-based sources of iron. So the heme-based ones, obviously, as they relate to red blood cells, they will come from animal products primarily. Things like meat, even poultry and seafood still have these heme-based sources. But certainly there are vegetarians in the world who are going to be looking at non-meat-based sources, so they need to be looking into the vegetable department. I'm a big fan of black beans, blackstrap molasses, even purple corn. Things that have a really dark color often are extremely rich in minerals. So that's kind of a good clue when you're looking at how to arrange your next dinner.
Okay, that's very good. Yeah, so I was going to ask about that. Yeah, vegetarians typically are a group that are more susceptible to iron.
I think it's just a higher risk population. I don't think it's an automatic. Just because a person's vegetarian doesn't mean that they're iron deficient. But it is something to watch out for if they are not accessing that easy absorbable form. They have to just put a little more attention into their diet.
Okay, perfect. And then sort of expand on that as well. The other part of diet, of course, the idea is iron supplements. So Kevin, just talk a bit about what's available out there. Are iron supplements a good idea? Who should take them?
Well, first off, always have a blood test. You wouldn't want to. There are toxicities associated with excessive usage of iron as well. So you don't want someone to just randomly decide, I don't have as much energy as I used to, so if I take a bottle of iron a week, I should be feeling better in no time. It doesn't work quite that way. You do have heme-based products like Proferin, which are going to be more bioavailable than the other forms. Compressed tablets will generally be a lower absorption rate than a capsule product or a heme-based product. So the downside of those, you're still going to absorb some of the iron, but the more that stays in the intestinal tract, the downside of iron supplements is they tend to be quite constipating. And the less it absorbs, the more that becomes an issue. So.
Absolutely, yeah. So you'd say anyone that might have questions about supplements, come into the pharmacy, talk to someone like you, and before sort of just taking any iron supplements, just like that. Okay, perfect. All right, well, thank you both very, very much. Unfortunately, we're already at time. We're going to wrap things up. But again, thank you so much, Kevin and Tara, for your insight and on the topic of iron.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. All right, so now we were going to have Ozzy Osbourne come on the show because apparently he is the Iron Man. He proclaimed back in the 70s. Raymond's a big fan of that. But instead of Black Sabbath, we're going to go back and talk golden retrievers, more information on healthy snacks for dogs. So we'll do that. Joni, over to you.
Well, I knew Matt would talk about iron eventually, so I'm glad we got him talking about iron. I'm here to further our conversation about Kelly Wags, which is a great treat and for dogs that was created by Dawn, who is kind of your aunt, I suppose. I'm talking to Kristen Haywood now, you're basically the person in the kitchen now who's cooking alongside, sometimes alongside Dawn, and sometimes she's in the office now.
Yes.
So tell me what you're doing and how you got involved with Kelly Wags.
So I actually make the treats. So we have a commercial kitchen off of the house, and we've kind of MacGyvered it to make dog treats.
I'm not old enough to know what MacGyvered is.
And
so that you jerry-rigged everything together?
We did, yeah. We went to industrial plastic shops and got stuff made for the kitchen.
Okay.
And I met Dawn through my Uncle John. And she said, I need someone to help me bake once a week kind of thing. And
you were just having a family dinner?
We were having a family dinner, yeah. And she happened to mention it, so I was like, okay, and gave it a shot. And then I got more and more involved with her. And
she said you were a natural right away.
Yeah.
You actually knew what you were doing in the kitchen, and she was going to give you a little bit of time to get oriented. And the first day, you were helping her, knowing exactly what to do. So that's pretty amazing. So you were working in retail, and so this was quite a departure for you to be working in the kitchen.
It was. It was just, it's a really, almost a therapeutic thing when you kind of get into it, and it's a really, I really enjoy doing it, and I know Dawn does as well.
So I hear when you're doing the peanut butter, she has to get involved in that.
She does. Peanut butter is really sticky, and so I do. I drag her out of the office, and I say, "Okay, you got to come and give me a hand with this." And so
what's she doing in the office? Apparently, she's in there quite a bit.
You know, I swear she's doing other stuff apart from Callywags.
Yeah. Well, so she's in there, and she's been doing the research, and she's been doing all the background, and then you're in the kitchen, and you're making these great treats. And we were saying that these actually look like little granola bars.
They do. They do.
Yeah, they look good enough for anybody to eat. And so it's partly the packaging. Now, you're the one that goes into the stores now, because she said that's not really her forte, and you go, you like that part.
I do. I enjoy talking with people, and I really believe in the product, so I have no problem selling it. And so when I walk into a store, or we do a craft show like Kris Kringle,
which you were just at,
it's really easy for me to sell the product, and I can just go on a long tangent to anyone because I really believe in it, so it's a really easy thing to sell.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing, I guess, if you believe in your product. And have you tasted it?
I have tasted it for sure. People kept asking me, what does it taste like? And so I did. I tried it.
So you actually, well, we have a taste tester actually, I think, who's going to be coming onto the set.
Yeah, here we have a dog coming on set. Is that right?
Hey.
Andrew told me there's some cookies here.
Apparently, well, which you might want to recommend one.
Peanut butter? I thought it was a dog that was coming though. Are you the dog that they spoke of? Yeah.
Okay. So what do we do? Salmon?
You want to try with salmon?
I like peanut butter.
No, well, salmon. How about salmon? Let's try with the fishy one.
Something smells fishy here. All right.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andrew. I think these cookies look really good.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Salmon cookies.
All right, so.
And they're nutritious.
How is that?
Is it up to your expectations?
The car tastes like mini wheat.
You know, it's cleaning your teeth also as you eat them.
That's the trick.
So, what's that?
Thumbs up for the salmon.
Oh, that looks funny now. Oh, who got stuff on my paper?
You're spitting salmon.
No, I'm not.
I
really can't talk right now.
Okay, so anyway, what was going to happen next?
Oh, I'm going to say thank you.
Okay. Okay, just turn the other way.
I'm really not joking. I can't open my mouth.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to give my best. Thank you, Joey.
There's your camera.
These really do taste good. They really do. I just got to open my mouth.
Give the man a drink.
Yeah, get a beer for me. All right, thank you guys. Thanks, Don, as well. I mean, I'm going to say these are pretty good Christmas gifts, you know, whether you believe in Santa Claus or St. Bernard, you know, whether you're sitting at home or you're dashing through the snow. And, you know, like the three wise men who are walking their flock of sheep in front of, you know, say they're German shepherds, you know, which, of course, spanieled many countries. Just be careful you don't run into a vampire. I hear they're a real bloodhound. All right. Seriously, he'll chow-chow on your neck. All right. I do want to tell you about these two really amazing volleyball players I'm playing volleyball with these days. One of them's from Dublin. The other one's from Copenhagen. So whenever we get a point, it's usually the Irish setter setting up the Great Dane. All right. So, yes, I do have a bit of a terrier sense of humor, and that's probably why the crew wishes I was a Malamute. And before the show goes to the dogs, before they make a casting collie for another host, I'm going to say thanks so much to our guests, hosts, volunteers, and staff in front of and behind the cameras. Seriously, this really is tasty. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/theshowonshot. They really is good. I'm going to eat another one when you're not looking. All right, you can also, we've got some good story ideas for us, like how I can clean my teeth. Give our producer a shout. That's Melissa Hall. Her email address is melissa.hall@sjrb.ca. And to finish up the show, as I promised, one more song from man David Batanti. This song is called Stay Afloat. Pretty apt for this maritime part of the world. And thank you so much for watching the show right here on Shaw TV.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, welcome.
Show me the way. You put away the